CBS News, an American television and radio service, shares with us that in Becker, Minnesota, Carly Rose Bullock was behind the wheel of a pickup truck on July 21st when she ran into a stop sign at an intersection. Charles Maurer and his 10-year-old daughter, Cassie Maurer, were on their way home from the Monticello Library when Bullock smashed into the side of them. She was texting and not paying attention to the road ahead of her. This shows Bullock's vehicle after the crash. As you can see, it's pretty beaten up and she was severely injured. I'm a teenager, just like most of you in this room, and I understand that phones can be a huge distraction for others while driving. So I decided to further my research and tried to find a way to stop people from texting and driving. Carly Bullock's accident took place fairly close to us here in Barnesville. And I'm sure most of you have received a text message, phone call, or even Snapchat while driving. But the real question is, did you take your eyes off the road to read it or answer it? If so, think about the dangers you put not only yourself in, but others in the vehicle, and others on the road around you. I'm sure most of you have rode in a car with somebody who is texting and driving, and you do feel unsafe as you're with them. Only a few short weeks ago, Minnesota decided to put an end to this, and Governor Walz signed a bill making hands-free driving a law in Minnesota. The U.S. government should legally require hands-free driving nationwide. Today, I'm going to share with you the dangers of texting and driving, how texting affects driving skills, and the benefits of hands-free driving. First, I'm going to start with how big an effect texting and driving has on accidents. Texting is one of the greatest distractions while driving. When AT&T did a study in 2015, this chart shows that 61% of people were texting while driving. Tim Harlow, a writer for the Star Tribune, the largest newspaper in Minnesota, tells us that in Minnesota, 1,017 tickets were issued in a texting and driving campaign from April 10th to April 23rd in 2017. In that very short time span of 13 days, there was many tickets given out, showing how huge of a problem texting and driving is in Minnesota. The Department of Motor Vehicle, a state-level government agency, states that 9 people are killed and more than 1,000 people are injured every day due to a distracted driver. In 2015, 14% of teens said that they had texted while driving, and that number is only increasing, making texting and driving the leading cause of death in teens. Kieran Hopkins, an SEO consultant at HighRank's website, tells us that 2.5 million people are involved in road accidents every year in the United States. Of those 2.5 million, 1.6 million of them have a phone involved in the accident. That's 64%, making cell phones the cause of over half of the accidents in the United States alone. Texting and driving is dangerous because it interferes with the senses you need to drive. Texting causes you to lose the skills that you need to drive safely. According to the DMV, your phone distracts you visually as you take your eyes off the road to read the text you receive or look for your phone. It also distracts you manually, as when you are reaching for your phone or texting or looking at it, you no longer have 2 hands on the wheel at all times. Finally, it distracts you cognitively because as you are talking to someone on the phone, you are no longer paying attention to the road ahead of you or what is going on around you. But also, the person you are talking on the phone with can't see what's going on either. This means that if you're talking to someone in your passenger seat, they are able to visually see everything you see and can warn you during a conversation if they see something going on in your surroundings, but someone on the phone is visually blind to what is going around you. The DMV goes on to say that since texting and driving falls under all 3 types of distracted driving, it makes it the most dangerous compared to the rest. Finally, the DMV shares with us a scary statistic that in the short 5 seconds that you take your eyes off the road to read a short message or respond to a quick text, you have already zoomed past the length of a football field, traveling 55 miles per hour. That's about 360 feet or 120 yards. But that's just going 55. Imagine if you're going faster than that. Or if the text is a little bit longer, it increases your distance and the risk. According to PR Newswire at the New York press release headquarters, texting and driving makes a person 6 times more likely to be involved in a car accident. Since texting and driving has become such a huge distraction, many states have created laws to minimize it. New York was the first state in the United States to make the hands-free driving a law. According to the article, New York to be the first state to ban holding a cell phone while driving, published on June 26, 2001. The ban first started November 1st. Violators would only get a warning from police officers until December 1st. After that, a judge could impose up to a $100 fine, and violators would have until March for the judge to waive the fine if they could show proof of a purchase that they had bought a headset or a speakerphone. This is showing that they are trying to be hands-free. They are moving on and accepting the law. So if they did that, they could get their fine waived from the judge. The Insurance Institute of Highway Safety and Highway Loss Data, a nonprofit organization funded by auto insurance companies, states, talking on cell phones while driving is banned in 16 states and the District of Columbia. The use of cell phones by novice drivers is restricted in 38 states and the District of Columbia. Text messaging while driving is banned for all drivers in 47 states and the District of Columbia. Also, novice drivers are banned from texting and driving in Arizona and Missouri. So as you can see, many states see the risks of texting and driving, but it's not just texting and driving. They should be hands-free altogether because a phone is a distraction all by itself. So this really shows the impact. That's why states are doing it, is because they realize the impact of texting and driving and they are trying to put an end to it. The Minnesota Public Radio recorded a quote by Frank Hornstein, a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives. He stated, "We all know that the bill saves lives. In the other 16 states and the District of Columbia, where this bill has been enacted, there's been an average of 16% drop in fatalities. Now, imagine if the law was applied nationally. Imagine how much we could bring down the rate of fatalities if it drops that much in only those states. 16% is a lot. And it could just bring it down significantly. This just shows how effective hands-free driving law is. And it's for these reasons why texting and driving law needs to be applied nationally. Texting and driving is a serious problem that needs to be addressed and enforced nationwide. Overall, texting and driving is dangerous, distracting, and needs to be applied nationally because something needs to be done about it. CBS News continues in their story about Carly Bolig, Charles Maurer, and Cassie Maurer by saying, now crosses stand at the intersection as a sad reminder of the loss of Charles and Cassie Maurer, all because a girl just couldn't put down her phone and drive. Thank you.